What is the burning issue on your mind today?
Well, Alyssa, what's really important that we're observing right now is that a lot of the processes uh, that support people with developmental and intellectual disabilities are sort of getting clogged up. And
What do you mean exactly?
well, if they have a lot of disappointed or dissatisfied people, that they're looking for better, they're looking for different, and there's process to achieve that. But a lot of those processes for justice, like if people want to appeal the decision that they're going to be put on an arbitrary waiting list for a couple of months, they can appeal that decision. But the thing is, the appeal process is backed up months and months. So it's one of these rare instances where the slower and the more poorly things happen, the more money gets saved. But it's at the expense of people with developmental disabilities and their families.
So what's happening with the funder right now?
Well, I don't know. We obviously see supports for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities as helping them access those generic services, helping them create natural relationships. And I think that maybe that's just seen as, well, what generic services can they access without government-funded supports?
So what they can find at the community without funding?
Well, I think what happens is we just have people with disabilities accessing food banks and homeless shelters and soup kitchens, and that's hardly is creating the meaningful engagement and that full citizenship we need for people with disabilities.
People saying that's okay, that people with disabilities should access it, and that's still a good quality of life for them?
I don't know if anybody's saying that's okay, but
why is it happening?
Don't seem too many people really upset by it. We know that people with disabilities need supports to be successful. And we know as a society that the more diverse the contribution is, the better off we are. So that sort of civic engagement that we cherish in marginalized groups and potentially marginalized groups. And for the most part, we're doing a better job at engaging those people. What results from it is better economic engagement, better contribution socially, and of course, people with disabilities live richer and more full lives.
So what do you think? Because I've heard that people with disabilities are only getting funding if it's urgent and critical.
Oh, we hear a lot about the urgent and critical, right? And it's to suggest that people with developmental disabilities, their citizenship is not urgent. The participation in community is not critical. When we talk about maybe the limited services, health and safety, well, for families and I'm so sure you and I and people with disabilities, health and safety is the starting point. We all want to be healthy and safe.
It's the first step into entry. It's not the
not
be
the
all
upper
end all.
limit of lives and livelihoods. So I guess there's a sort of a difference on maybe the potential of people with developmental and intellectual disabilities. But we find, for the most part, we wouldn't do the work we did if we didn't believe in a caring, loving community that is just waiting for the invitation to be involved in the lives of people with disabilities. But when it comes to friends and family, sometimes that doesn't fit in with the existing services.
So what would you like to see happen, Dave?
I'd love to see friends and family supporting people with developmental disabilities, making sure their co-workers have input into their lives, and their neighbors and their friends. Problem is, if the supports are just based on urgent and critical, people will not find friends and will not find meaningful employment.
And if they do find it, it'll be only in urgent and critical situations. And not all the best outcomes happen in the urgent and critical situations, do they?
No, they don't. When we're responding out of fear and a response to potential harm, then obviously that's not the sort of positive supports we need to see for people.
We want relationships out of good situations.
I think we as a society want to see that. We want to see people meaningfully engaged and see everybody fulfill their potential. We don't like to see people wasting their days, because we know people are idle and lonely. Would much rather have an opportunity to be engaged and be doing things that are important to themselves and important to others.